From the darkest corners of the creepy old house down the street to the screams in the night. Settle in, Parafamily, to join with Whitney and Brandon for another spooky episode of the Para-Unity Podcast.
Hello, Parafamily. It is I, Brandon. Unfortunately, this evening you are going to be dealing with me alone with our guests. So Whitney is stuck doing some haunted tours down in Virginia. I think she's just secretly recovering from all the fun we had when she was up here in Illinois a couple weekends ago, but that's okay. One thing I do want to clear the air about, our last episode was the live stream from that event, and I had no voice when I was there, and our guest tonight can verify that. I was pretty rough, and so the audio wouldn't clean up, so you have the live stream, but it wasn't worth taking the time to try and make it an actual audio episode for you guys. So I apologize. Next time, just show up and you won't have that problem. So anyways, tonight we are kicking off High Holy Spooky Week with our new friends, the Haunted Happy Hour podcast. Now, these ladies are fantastic. And it turns out they're big fans of ours too. So hashtag we love our fans. So we met Lili and Vanessa and the rest of Haunted Happy Hour podcast crew at the Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon in Rock Island, Illinois. And not only were they wonderful people, but they make some delicious coffee too. Let me tell you, I spent a lot of money that day just on coffee. But let's talk a little bit about this area of Illinois and Iowa. It's the Quad Cities region. So the Quad Cities includes Davenport and Bettendorf in Iowa, Moline and Rock Island in Illinois. So the region is located at the confluence of the Rock and Mississippi rivers, making it an attractive settlement for various indigenous tribes, such as the Sac and Fox tribes. So Sackanock was the main Sac settlement and was the birthplace of Black Hawk. So now the Black Hawk War erupted in 1832, which resulted in the signing of a treaty at Davenport between the Sac chief Keokuk and General Winfield Scott. So this tribe lost 6 million acres of lands to the United States, but you can still visit part of that establishment in Rock Island as part of the Black Hawk State Historical Site. So now the Quad Cities grew from riverboat traffic, and many entrepreneurs came to the area to take advantage of the water power. One of them being a company that you very well know, which would be John Deere. He moved his plow business to Moline in 1848, and since 1868, Deere & Co. is the largest employer in that area. So now the first railroad bridge was built in 1856, and it connected Rock Island and Davenport across the Mississippi River. On May 6th of 1856, shortly after that bridge was constructed, an angry steamboat pilot crashed the Afton into the bridge, resulting in a lawsuit against Rock Island Railroad Company. Now, the steamboat industry saw the railroad as a huge threat, so that's why he crashed in there. Ironic point here, though, Abraham Lincoln was the lawyer that represented the railroad, and he won that case before the U.S. Supreme Court. So then after the Civil War, the Quad Cities experienced more growth and industry and went through revitalizing efforts through the 21st century. So we got our history. Let's talk hauntings, okay? So in the Quad Cities area, the first one that we want to talk about is where we met these ladies. So the old YMCA in Rock Island, Illinois. It was opened as the area's YMCA in 1913. It served the community for decades and weathered through many events, both positive and negative. Now, Dan Vinar's Furniture took over the old building, and the owners realized there's a lot of spirited activities in this place. Ranges from shadow figures, apparitions, EVP captures, footsteps, and investigators being touched as well. So I had my audio recorder going the entire time we were there. So at some point when I have enough time to get through, 9.5 hours of footage or audio, I'll let you know if I found anything. But our next place is the Masonic Temple in Davenport. It was built in 1922 and opened to members in 1923. Most of its 400 members were actually all police officers. And then in 1996, Palmer College purchased that old temple, and it became the Palmer Family and Chiropractic History Museum. So manifestations include disembodied voices and objects moving. The spirits are believed to be former members watching over the building from the afterlife. So there's plenty more haunted locations in this area. There's so much history, but let's not spend any more time on that. I have two ladies sitting here waiting to talk to us that are far more interesting than listening to me ramble on. So let's get our guests on tonight. We have Lili and Vanessa from the Haunted Happy Hour podcast. Ladies, how are you doing tonight?
Hello.
Doing good. Hi.
Happy to be here.
Cheers.
Ooh, I was so excited. Whitney
Yes.
said that you guys were going to be on the show. It's like we can just continue on from all the crazy adventures we were having while we were in Rock Island.
Of course.
I know. Of course. Well, first of all, Vanessa pointed it out. Yeah, definitely cheers. We're cheersing to a happy hour right now. So we're bringing you
course.
into our happy hour, Brandon.
It's our thing. You know, you have to.
Oh yeah, I was prepared. Like I told you, I'm al fresco this evening in the lovely 70-degree
That's
October
awesome.
air.
That's
Do we need to
awesome.
talk
So
about
we'll
what
have
we're
to drink
drinking?
that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead. You first.
Okay. So I am keeping it Iowa grown. This is Wilson's Orchard in Solon, Iowa. They make
Ooh.
spiked ciders down there. This one, I have 4 other flavors in my fridge. This one's an apple cider donut flavor.
Oh, that
That's
sounds really
fun.
good. That sounds
We might have to feature
delicious.
that. Yeah.
We
I love that.
will.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
pick it up. Pick it
So-
up next time. Figure it
Mental
out.
note.
Yep. Come down. Come on over. It's only an hour and a half away from you.
Okay. That's easy.
Your Hy-Vees might actually even have it. I don't know.
You know what? I was
But,
just wondering that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They might. They
Agreed.
might. It's very good. It's perfect for a fat guy that likes to drink because it's like alcohol and donuts at the same time.
That's awesome. Best of both worlds.
That sounds really good.
That's great.
Perfect.
What about you
So-
guys? What are you drinking?
Well, I have one of what we had the last 2 episodes ago, Lili, I think.
Yes. Yes.
So what this is actually Witch's Brew, and it's a ready to drink cocktail. And it's an appletini made by the Brewing Sisters.
That one is delicious.
Nice.
We had somebody reach
Delicious.
out on Instagram asking for that.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
Very hard to find.
Very select. Like whenever I go out somewhere, I like make sure I'm like always keeping an eye out for the show.
And so you scored that one.
You're like-
that was a good one.
Yeah.
What about you, Lily?
Mine-
What you
Mine's
got?
not mine's very full, but it's not as fun as your guys's. I'm coming in for Whitney, really coming in from the East Coast here with a Sam Adams.
That's okay.
So,
We love
so
a good
we're
Nothing
Sam
wrong with
Adams.
that.
I
Yeah.
love Sammy's.
that the-
Love Sammy's. I have actually
it the
the Flannel
Oktoberfest?
Fest. No, the Flannel
Oh,
Fest.
okay.
I've never
Flannels.
had this one. I've never had it. I do like it. It's actually really good. Big fan.
Lily loves the flannels.
I guess I do.
I don't know if I want to touch that one.
Oh, let's keep it friendly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just glad that I can actually talk this evening. I was pretty rough last night, or the
Oh,
last
you're
time we all
right.
got together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Your voice was a lot lower.
It was.
I had to like lean in close and be like, what did you say?
I was trying to pull off that what is that, Kevin Costner from
Oh my
from
gosh, that's so
Yellowstone.
funny. Oh yeah, I love that. That's
You were
hilarious.
so close. I think you almost got it.
Keep practicing.
He's a little prettier than I am, but
Well, it's so funny because I was scared because I started getting sick actually throughout the week. And I told Lily, you know what? if I start coughing up a storm, you got to take over. Because what was it? Our last recording, we could barely get through it. Well, I could barely get through it. So that was bad.
I swear, like the last maybe like 5-10 minutes of our episode, Vanessa was like MIA. So I had to like finish it myself. I'm like, all right, I guess you're gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I went and died in the bathrooms, coughed up a storm. I didn't want to wake up everybody.
Well, it's like I told her, I go, that's
geez.
what you get for making fun of me all the time because I always lose my voice.
Yeah.
And so I was telling her, I'm like, okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. Like I gave her a list of things. And of course, me being me, since I do always lose my voice, I had like a stockpile of different teas.
No kidding.
Show. So I was all mom about it. And I'm like, here's these two different teas.
She's like dishing it out, but not in the good way. She's giving me tea bags. So little tea bags. So she's not making it rain in a good way. She's making it rain in a different way.
Well, now you're fixed. So you're welcome.
There's nothing wrong with tea. Oh my gosh. Well, and that was funny because if you guys would have came down. So for those of you that weren't at the event, these ladies were like prime location right inside the front door. Like can't miss it. And, and Whitney and I were in the basement.
That's okay. We found you anyway.
Yeah, you did. And it's like we were down there and we're all like sitting there at first, all super excited, like, oh, this is great. We're together. Yeah. And then we had people come down and Whitney, that girl, it doesn't matter what's going on. She has a switch she flips when there's people around and she's just like, hello, hi, super friendly. And I'm sitting down in the basement going, well, are anybody gonna realize we're here? And she's all like, the very first person, she's like, hello, we're the Para Podcast. I write books. And the person's like, cool. Where are they doing the talking for Dave Schrader?
Like, okay, thanks. So
I'm just like, so.
Well,
yes, and you guys sat in on our amazing alien episode.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. It was good.
I think that's the one thing that I missed out on, though. I wasn't a fan of the fact that I wasn't able to get down there. Vanessa, I swear you were able to go sneak into a couple of different talks, which was cool. Yeah. But it's like I would have loved to have gone down there and to see either you guys or to see everybody else that was there. Honestly, there was a lot of people there. A lot of really cool people.
Yeah, there was. We had a group right next to us and from Minnesota, and they were an absolute riot too. We were having so much fun with them all day.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I'm excited because we found a bunch of people that we can have as guests on the show. It's like we like fully charged up our second half of the season just with
that's awesome.
fun and YMCA stuff.
Yes, we did the same thing as well. Like we had like a whole handful of different people that stopped by, which was really cool. So that's and I mean that's where we found the one team that we're going now on that investigation to Ashmore Estates. Like they were right behind us. They were sitting like right behind us.
Yeah, so they were a riot too.
Yeah.
They were cool. They were cool. Eternal Paranormal, shout out. Love you guys. Hearts.
I don't think there was a single team there that like wasn't just an absolute blast to hang around.
No, it was
that
was
was probably by far the best groups that I've been around.
Yeah,
I wish my team would have been there, but
yeah. I love it.
That's what
everybody was
all right. Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. True. So I do need to ask, what on earth got you two into doing this?
Funny story.
I mean, I know I'm crazy, but
it all starts off with this, right?
Right.
That's what all the ideas start off with.
Well, okay, so that's a good question. Okay, so got into doing the podcast or got into the paranormal? Like, I guess there's a couple of different.
Let's start with the paranormal because I have a feeling it'll be a little bit more non-alcoholic.
Okay, so I don't know, Vanessa, do you wanna take it?
Well, I think that we talked about it on our show as well. It started off with like really during my college years, and you were a little bit younger, but you were willing to join in with all the fun. And we were both really fans of the paranormal and all of that jazz growing up, actually. So I think, once it got to the point where we actually started realizing, oh, wait, you can actually go search for things, or you can go, there's places that you can go to and, just seek out these things. We're like, great, let's do it.
Right.
So with my college friends and her friends, we all teamed up and we would just kind of map out locations of where we wanted to go. And so we were novice, we had no idea. But our local radio station, they would have like the local haunts of the areas and like the local lore, urban legends and such. And during the time, we'd have to print out. There was no like
MapQuest.
It was MapQuest, literally. So we'd get the directions off of MapQuest, like take a right, here's the arrow, take a left, there it is, and we'd have all these directions and everybody would have all these pages and we'd like circle and X and we checked and things, but that's really where it started off.
Right.
What do you say?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, it's funny too, because whenever we really think about it, even just me personally, I don't remember a time when I wasn't interested in the paranormal.
Yeah.
It was always just something that somehow, for some reason, just existed in our household. And we were all just very much fans of it. We all believed in it. And we just gravitated towards doing that. And it's weird though, because even back then, it wasn't that much long ago, but I don't think it was as prevalent as it is now to be going out and investigating and finding all these different tours to actually go on and find people that actually like the same thing as you. So back then I felt like it was really just our group that would just go out and do this stuff. And as we got older, we found out that there's people like Brandon and Whitney. There's people like these other groups that we found at the Paracon that really enjoyed it. And I think honestly that just spurred us into it even more. That just like really reignited everything. Like, oh, holy crap, there's a lot of people that like this kind of stuff. So this is a thing. Yeah, let's keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. So then from there, you started drinking alcohol and you're like, hey, let's make a podcast.
So like, okay, we'd always get together and have drinks and what have yous, like the happy hours. And we were always coming up with, man, what can we do with paranormal and combine it into something that we really enjoy? And it just stemmed like one night, I was at her house and we were having a few drinks, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, who knows? And I don't know, we just started kind of just spitting out ideas. And all of a sudden she was like, what if we do a podcast? And I'm like, what? How? We don't even have the equipment.
Right.
It just seems so far-fetched because number 1, we didn't have the equipment. Number 2, it was like, how? And number 3, it's like, what? That was really what it was.
What are we going to talk about? Like, who's going to listen to us? Like, I honestly can't even remember that conversation. But
I wonder why.
I remember the next day because we had a legit notebook of like our bright ideas. And every time we'd get together to drink, we'd come up with these great ideas. I'm like, oh, we should start a business that's this or a business that's this. Oh, and then all of a sudden this day, let's start a podcast. And then the next day we're going through it. And we're like, actually, this might be a really good idea. This might be fun. Like, I think we can do it. And obviously we're all sobered up by this point. So we're thinking more clearly. And we realized that, hey, you know what? This isn't that far-fetched because our brother actually is an audio engineer major. And he had all of this equipment because he used to have his own podcast. And so we went to him and we're like, hey, we are thinking that we want to do a podcast. So we need help. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Well, here, you can just use my stuff because I'm not doing my podcast anymore. So here, just take it all. When I need it, then I'll just come back and grab it. But just take it for now. We're like, okay, cool. He hooked us up with it.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, we're here with you.
Yeah.
And you've expanded too. So I mean, not
Right.
only do you do, I have a kid hiding behind me.
Hello.
So you do your podcast,
Mhm.
you have your drinks,
Mhm.
and
Right.
you sell coffee now.
Yes.
How
we
on
do.
earth did you fall into selling coffee?
That was another one of our bright ideas. I
Yes.
feel.
Mhm. So it was in the notebook.
It was.
Well, technically, so since we loved our drinks, a lot of the drinks we have been making have been with coffee as well. So we love coffee.
Mhm.
So when we would make the drinks for the show, a lot of them incorporated like some sort of coffee in some way. And so then we thought, oh my gosh, why don't we love coffee, why don't we, add that into the mix and see what
Right.
happens. Yeah.
Mhm. Like we had
So
to find a coffee
It's a-
that
yeah.
obviously was like bourbon flavor, some spirit
Right.
flavor, because since
Go
that's our
along with the
thing,
theme.
clearly.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's what
for
we did.
sure.
That's how it happened.
And it's amazing coffee too. That's the worst
Yay.
part of it. It's just like you drink it the first time and you're just like, okay, I need more. It's like I can't tell if I'm a caffeine addict or an alcoholic or what's going on here, but just give me more. So yeah, no, it's amazing. So how did you, I'm just completely perplexed at this. So you guys decided you want to make the coffee. How did you
Mhm.
find a provider?
A lot of research.
'Cause I
So,
know you're not
yeah.
driving down to Honduras and picking beans and bringing them
Are
back
you
to
sure?
the Quad Cities.
Because we may have.
Well,
we could
maybe.
be. We could be.
We're like, oh, this is perfect.
We're out there picking the beans ourselves, and we're out there doing the whole deal.
We have the pictures to prove. No, but in all seriousness.
Yeah, I mean it was very, very involved, actually, the whole process, because I mean it started out, honestly, I mean, yeah, clearly we're all joking about it, but when we really realized that this is what we wanted to do, we're just like, okay, great, like this is awesome. So what do we want it to be like? Like what do we want it to taste like? What's the whole flavor profile that we're looking
Mhm.
for? And so because of the fact that we wanted to tie it into the podcast, because this is how it started, we're like, all right, so we have to find a coffee that really has that complementary bourbon flavor, because we really like the whole bourbon and coffee pairing very much. Like those flavors just mesh so well. So we're like, okay, so step one, that's what we need. That's what we're looking for. So let's search that out. So doing all this different research, looking through all these different partner providers that we could go with, we found one eventually on the East Coast, and talking to them, they were really great about the whole situation, what we were wanting to do. Like it was like a whole interview process, like to make sure that they matched with us and we matched with them as well. And so it was a really great experience, and just kind of walking us through the process of everything. They eventually settled on how to, it's funny when you think about it, because it's like they asked us what we wanted it to taste like, we told them what we wanted, and they went back and concocted their little deals, and then all of a sudden sent us these samples, and we're like, this is it, this is what we want. Yes, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we want. So it's really cool to say that this coffee was made specifically for us, for the podcast. And I think for us, that makes it even that much more special, because we never in a million years would have thought that we would have had a podcast, let alone have a coffee that was made for the podcast. And I think it's really cool to think about, because it's like this essentially all stemmed from our love of the paranormal, which there was a day that we never thought anything would come from that. We always thought that it was just some random little hobby that nobody else shared. But to be able to look at that and think, you know what? This is awesome. Like seeing the whole journey from start to honestly where we are now and seeing how all of this really connects. And it makes us just feel like, you know what? I think this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is actually really great. And I think even the cooler part is that I'm doing it with my sister. I mean, the fact that we get to do it together and kind of share this love and share this enjoyment, it's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, when I started this show 3.5 years ago, it was literally just me. I was finding all the people, I was writing the scripts, I was interviewing them, I was editing, I was posting.
Wow.
I was so like
It's a
just
lot of work.
dying
Yes,
doing it
is
by
a lot.
myself. And then when Whitney walked in and we hit it off like we did, it was unreal. It was, you know, her and I literally feel like brother and sister, even though we only live what, 8, 9, 10 hours away from each other.
Only.
So, only.
That's awesome.
Only. She's making excuses in the chat right now too, saying that she had a coughing fit on her tour. I think she's just a nerd.
So funny.
She'll yell at me later for that. That's okay. But I mean, she was exactly what was needed. So I mean, the idea of having the sibling relationship on the show, I think it heightened everything.
Right.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I guess so you guys are building up for this first investigation, and you said you've been going on some of the tours in kind of preparation for this.
Yes.
What would you say was your favorite tour that you've done? Like, what's the location?
Oh gosh.
Oh geez. We talk about this
Dropping
on our
that
show
bomb.
as well. Okay.
I feel like we have
should know the
two.
answer.
I feel like we have two.
I'm gonna say Quarters 1.
Yes, that's the first one. I think that's the first one, and I think it's important because of the fact that it was the first one. Yeah.
And I think that's why it holds a special place within us, because that was the very first real experience that we've ever had. And just with the people that we were with, we've never seen something like that. So that one's actually on the Rock Island Arsenal for those that haven't heard of it. Quarters 1. And they offer tours like
that
all
place
the
is
time.
crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Amazing.
It's awesome. I think, I mean, just to go off that a little bit, I mean, the people that we used to always do this with and do all of our investigations with, the fact that one of those people that went with us no longer wants to do any other investigations at all, that trip there, that investigation essentially just put it over the edge for them, and they're just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, they experienced something really intense and we all witnessed it. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
I think that was the turning point for us too, though. Like, we realized, I think before we didn't really know how to or what to expect or what to do or what are the protocols or how to enter an area that has spirits, entities. I think that was a turning point for us where we realized, wow, this is legit, and we really need to figure out best practices. And not just, hey, I'm here, let's haunt, whatever.
Right.
We figured out really what it takes and what we need to do on our end, just based off of what had happened. And I think that was important for us too. I think it was an awakening, and we're like, okay, we really need to take a step back and really go about this differently.
Right. So I mean, I feel like that was the first one. Yes, that was the first one. But like, and we always say this. I swear, we had an episode where we just talked about this.
Yeah.
But we can't let this go without either doing a tie or an honorable mention with the Dan Viner Furniture Company store. Yeah, like that, the 100 YMCA. That was an intense experience for us as well, because when we went to investigate it, that was the first time we ever caught actual real evidence that we could keep. That we actually still have. And we were obsessed with it for a while. We were just going crazy. And it was weird. Like, I even thinking about it to this day, I'm just like, I don't get it.
I still get chills, like, honestly. Like, I
So,
mentioned to
so did you
you.
guys go on the tour Friday night then?
No, we didn't, just because of all that was going on, and we had to set up. But
Oh,
So I think we did this tour like a year ago. Was it a year ago? I don't even know
I think
now.
it was actually a year
Yeah,
ago.
I
It was
think
like
it was a
around
year
this time, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
But Brandon, I mentioned to
Okay.
you and Whitney about what had happened to me in the classroom, in that teacher's space. Yeah. So just to retell the story, so we were in that classroom, and nobody knew on the tour that I was a teacher. So we all walked in, and I was in the back because I was recording, and I just had my camera and my recorder and everything. And so they were just with a voice box asking questions. The teacher was there, the spirit of the teacher, and they were just asking her questions. I don't remember what all the questions were. Lily knows all the questions, because I feel like I blacked out, honestly, after I'm like, what? But yeah, so at one point, then it was asking, what did it ask, Lily? Like, what do you want?
The one investigator asked, do you want somebody to sit up here in your chair?
That's what it was. Yeah.
And then the spirit box replied back, yes. And then she's like, okay, so who do you want to sit up here? And then it responds, I think it said the teacher. And then everybody's kind of like, okay, well, there's not a teacher here. And then all of a sudden I look to the back of the room because Vanessa is a teacher. And I'm like, oh my God.
Vanessa, I wasn't paying attention, remember, though? I wasn't. That's why I don't know. Because I'm like recording, taking pictures. And she's like, Vanessa. And I'm like, what? And she's like, it wants you to sit up there. I'm like, no way. And they're like, is there a teacher here? I'm like, oh, crap. There is me. And so, so I was like, I'm a teacher. And so they're like, okay, come sit at the chair. And I'm like, oh, great. Here we go.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she's just snapping picture after picture after picture. And it's at the time I was teaching third grade, but before I was teaching bilingual Spanish and English. And the teacher they were asking, what do you want her, or what do you want her to teach, or something like that. And then it said Spanish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was when I'm looking at Lily, and I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. And then there was I want to say there was a student or something that kind of interfered or something with the questions. And he said something like, I like her. And we were all assuming as a teacher.
Right.
And then, all of a sudden Lily's just snapping all these pictures. Well, we were done with the Q&A there with the teacher. We go downstairs for a break, and Lily literally is going through every single photo. And she looked at me, she paused, big eyes. She's like, I don't know if you want me to show you these or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, great, what? And so she shows me the picture. She's like, look at this one. And I'm like, okay, it was normal. Look at the next one, normal. Look at the next one. It was like something trying to self-impose itself on my face or something like that. It was just morphing into something different.
Right.
And we were just like,
that was weird. I think what made it even more weird,
you get that chill that just cuts all the way.
Yes. Vanessa, you were just like, I remember your face. You were frozen.
I know. I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God. You get that moment of scariness, but then all of a sudden they're like, okay, next tour. And we're like, all right, let's go.
Right, right. So there was a lot of activity in that building, though. That night, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But even the best, I guess, piece of evidence that we caught,
the best one.
We wouldn't know until days later, a day or two later.
Actually, no, because it might have been a day or two later, because there was just a lot of recording to go through.
Yeah. And so I was going through my different we had a bunch of different recorders going, and then I'm going through all of mine. She's going through hers, and it's I never found anything on mine. But then one night she texts me and she's like, oh my gosh, listen to this. And she texts me a voice clip. And so I'm playing it. She's like, I think there's something there. Listen to it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing here. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't get anything. And she's like, no, listen to it again. Here, let me resend it. And so she resends it. And I'm like, Vanessa, there's nothing here. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're talking about like the shuffling. Like that's me because I was walking. I'm like, I know that's my feet kicking the floor because the floor was like dusty. I'm like, so that's me. That's nothing. And she's like, no, you're not listening to it right. That's not it. And I go, I don't know what you're telling me. It was a whole back and forth. Like, I'm not kidding you. This went on for a while. And then eventually, somehow, like we both realized that I wasn't getting the voice clip that she was sending, like intentionally. Like she was meaning to send me something, but for some reason that recording bit wasn't getting to my end. So I wasn't getting it. And I'm like, Vanessa, I don't get what you're telling me. You're telling me you're sending me like a 2 minute, like a minute and 37-second clip, and I'm getting like an 18-second clip. I don't know. Like, you're being weird. Like, I seriously thought she was being dumb.
She's like, send it right. You're not sending it right.
Right. And so eventually she's like, you know what? Forget it. I just have to come over and show it to you. I'm like, okay, cool. So she eventually ends up settling on coming over. But for some reason, like she tried sending it again. This was after probably 20, 25 times of trying. The last time it came through. And so I'm playing it and I'm like, wait, this is a completely different clip. So I'm listening to it. And it was a really long clip. And it was just like, picture like if you were to close your eyes and just hear like the ambient sound. This recording was taken in the pool area, by the way. And so we're in the pool area with a bunch of different people. And the lead investigator is asking questions. And you hear him cut in at the beginning of the clip. He asks a question, and then all of a sudden, somehow in the clip, it just switches. It's as if we call it as if the recording entered a portal, because you hear something weird switch, and then it goes completely quiet, which that room was never that quiet. And then all of a sudden you start hearing like drops of water, like water droplets. It's like, where is this water coming from? Obviously, as we're talking through it, we're like, oh my gosh, this used to be the pool. Is that what this means? So we're listening to this water. We hear like some weird, it sounded like, it's weird to even say this because I don't know what this sounds like, but it sounded like a portal opened. Like it was a very weird metallic-y sound in the background. And then you hear like a beeping sound, which sounded like an alarm. None of this was happening in real time, by the way. None of the sounds was happening. And so like all of a sudden the clip comes back and then you hear the investigator finish the rest of his sentence. Like there was this whole gap where this investigator, he was not recorded, but the recording caught this for some reason. So then I went and I matched it back, like the timestamps. I matched it back to every other single recording we had rolling at that time. It appeared nowhere else except on that recorder. And so we're like, what the heck was that?
And also too, with the water droplets, you could almost hear like someone was jumping off a diving board and splashing into water.
Yeah, you're right. Like as if you're underwater and you hear like that weird, like
you just have that muffled sound when you're underwater and you can hear the people around you, but it's muffly. Everybody around you is muffly. And that's never what it sounded like in there when we were actually there in real time.
We were so confused.
Oh no. It's so loud in there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it was super quiet, but like muffly when you're underwater, that type of feeling. And you could totally just like imagine that. And we were like trying to talk it out and play it back in our minds. And that was just like it for us. When we heard that, we were like, oh, I'm never deleting this ever again.
Right.
Yeah. So we played it on one of our shows. But yeah, we were just in shock and loved it. And that was just our moment.
So if anybody wants to listen to it, quick shout out, you can go to our Instagram and listen to it. It's on there, or listen to the episode.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess the kind of the best direction to go from here would be, where can they find your show?
Where can't you find it?
Where is it at? Where right?
So you can find us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Spotify, iTunes, obviously, Apple Podcasts, we're there. Those are two big ones, but we're essentially anywhere else you can think of to find us.
iHeartRadio, whatever.
Yeah, Pandora. So just search us out there. If you want to follow us on socials, obviously Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes.
We make TikToks.
You're a TikToker. Oh man.
The Tic Tac.
TikToks.
Tic Tacs.
Tic Tac.
Also, you can go to our bonfire site, bonfire.com, and we have a lot of merch there. Lily is actually
I'm
shirts.
wearing one of our shirts. If I can stand up here, if anybody can see it. What is it? Dead inside.
Dead inside. Yeah.
It says Haunted Happy Hour. Yes.
Nice. So we'll make sure then to put links to all your guys' stuff in our show notes. So that way when they go and listen to this episode, they'll have the link right and handy, ready to go, so they can just finish our episode and then go right into yours. So
perfect. I love it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to leave our show until you finish the episode, and then you can move over. We do have requirements. I give you guys credit. I can't TikTok.
It's a caveat.
I can't TikTok. I'm too old.
No, you know what though? We were kind of the same. No, we were kind of the same though, because at first we didn't want to do it because we're like, what are we gonna be posting? Like dances? We're not gonna be dancing on TikTok. But then obviously we were like, oh, well, actually we do have really good ideas of what to post on TikTok. Like I think it started, Vanessa, with our whole summer series, like our s'more campfire series.
Yeah.
And so we posted a bunch of really cool videos of us making the s'mores, which were delicious because we had a whole bunch of really cool tasting ones, not just normal. Like we of course had to make
paired them with our drinks.
Yes. So they were really good.
Dipped in bourbon.
Yes. We'll have to do that next time.
There you go. That'll really light it up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what's next for you guys?
No, God.
So you're conquering the podcast world. You guys are growing like crazy with that. You got all your alcohol going, flowing, drinking. You got your coffee business, perking up, as bad as that pun is. And so, I mean, what next? Are we gonna have like a brand of beer, or?
That'd be awesome.
If you can make that happen, we'll do it. We'll be on board.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, we're always.
I may know somebody.
Done. Sold.
Yeah,
we love it. We love it already.
We're not afraid.
No, I guarantee you're not. Happy hour craft beer. The haunted happy hour craft beer.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That's awesome.
It does. But seriously though, I mean, what else do you guys got coming down the pipe? Is there anything exciting that we should be getting prepared for that's coming from you guys?
Oh, actually,
cool new episodes.
So we are going to be back at the Haunted YMCA Rock Island. We will be back with Lisa and Candy helping out for the New Year's Eve investigation event. So there's going to be yes. So kind of just hooked up with Candy, and she's like, hey, it'd be really cool if you guys could come by and actually be there for the investigation event on New Year's to obviously keep everyone alive and kicking while they're investigating until 2 a.m. or 7 a.m., whatever it is. So we're like, of course, heck yeah, we'll be there. So if anybody's in the area or if anybody is within travel distance, come check us out. New Year's Eve at Haunted Rock Island YMCA.
That's right.
We'll ring in the new year.
You can toast, ring into the new year. You can have your coffee from Haunted Happy Hour.
Yep.
Are you guys gonna do like little lipstick kisses on the cups and stuff? So that way it's
that would be fun. That's a good idea.
That is actually a good idea. I like it. That's cute.
We are going to be toasting.
Get your lipstick
So what
out.
are we toasting? I don't know. Get toasted with Haunted Happy Hour.
I love it.
There you go.
We're gonna have some really cool drinks too. So still new ones that we're always crafting and creating with our special barista who specializes in that. So she's creating some really good new drinks for the new year. So
So no, was that the gal that was there with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Sarah.
Okay.
Shout out Sarah. Thank you.
Sarah.
Yeah, she was the craft master back behind the table, right?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, so we got to do a lot of taste tests and sampling with her, so that was awesome.
Yes,
for all
she's
your,
awesome.
your menu items.
Yeah.
Yes, it was cool because we told her, we're like, okay, we want one that tastes like this, and we want one that tastes like this. We want it to be kind of like this. So figure it out. How is it going to taste good? Make it happen. And so she just went back and did her whole deal,
did her magic,
mixing stuff up, and then we got to taste it all, and we settled on some. It was hard to settle on some though because they were all good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they were. Yeah, I'll verify that.
Well, good.
I don't remember the names, but I know menu item 1, 2, and 3 were my favorite.
Well, there you go.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they were good.
I did buy an
We
extra
were
one for Whitney
excited.
too, but it didn't quite make it to her.
Oh no way! Are you serious?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's funny.
The truth comes out. The truth comes out.
The truth comes out. She's back in Virginia now, so she can't come after me.
Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome. That's funny. We had a lot of repeat customers, which was really cool. So that obviously made us super happy. It's funny because me and Vanessa were joking about it, like I think 2 episodes ago, when we were talking about wrap up of the Paracon and how we were so excited and everybody was so cool and we loved it. It was just like such a different, like, I don't know about you, Brandon, but it's like being there was just such a different feeling. Like you had like all this really great positive energy with all of these different people there that are really in support of one another. And it was just an incredible feeling. And so when we got back home, Vanessa came back here to my house and we're unloading all this stuff and we're just talking about it. We're like, it was just so incredible. Like, I swear, like the feelings just like got to us.
I think it hit at that point.
We were just so overwhelmed. Like, when we were there, like we were just going, and everything was awesome. Chit-chatting with everybody and just meeting new people. And then we get home and we're like, holy crap, that was like an amazing feeling. It was like such a freaking high. It was ridiculous.
We were like,
I swear, like I swear we burst into tears. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah, we did. We're so happy.
Well, and it's super funny that we're on this topic again because Miss Candy Slater just joined our chat.
Oh, shout out.
Candy, woo!
Shout out to
Candy.
I
swear,
think,
when you
I agree with you.
I had to say something about it.
Oh, is that yeah, all pre-planned, right? Yeah. So I completely agree with you guys. It was a very good, powerful experience. You know, I was telling my teammates because we've had a couple events that we've worked on since the Paracon, and I was like, you guys really missed out. You should have cleared your schedules. You know, shame on you.
For real.
This was the best.
I mean, we did have one of our team members. He was there pretty much all day, wandering around, and
oh, that's cool.
But it was so amazing. And so I'm gonna have you guys tell me. You'll have to tell me what your favorite vendor was there. My favorite. Yep, I'm gonna put all sorts of pressure on you tonight. I forgot to warn you. My favorite was Josie. With the Silent Explorers.
Yes, she was very.
I love I love the idea of a team of entirely hearing impaired people.
Yes.
And Josie is, her personality is so larger than life. Like, I could just like live in her presence forever. I mean, she was great.
Yeah. I thought she was awesome. I got a chance to talk with her towards the end when everybody was like clearing out, and it was so cool. She came back and she was telling us that she loved the coffee. She's like, I love the coffee. And she was telling me where she was from, and so she pulls up her map on her phone to show me where she was from. And I was like, she's from Alaska? Like, is that true? I'm like, there's no way you're from Alaska. And she's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, oh my God, Josie, that's freaking awesome. Number one. But number two, wow, you're all the way over here. That's incredible. But like later on, I eventually was going through Facebook and I got to see all the pictures that people were taking. And I saw pictures of the tour that she led with a group of people, and I'm like, wow, that would have been incredible to see and to like actually take part in. I'm like, how, like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, it must be like very, very honestly just like changing, because you have to just kind of rely on like different senses at that point to kind of be able to experience what others do just normal, like regularly. Like we just take it for granted, obviously.
Right. Yeah. And probably your senses,
and that's got to be a whole
too.
different world.
Yes.
Totally.
Oh yeah. So two things. Candy's letting me drop some bombs here. So first off, Josie is moving back to this area in December, and she'll be at the New Year's Eve event.
Oh, yay, Josie. Can't wait to see you again. Oh, so is she going to be investigating, I wonder? Because I think we'll be investigating as well. So that'll be exciting. It'll be cool to kind of pair off and just see things the way that she does. I'm super interested. Oh my gosh, Candy, you just made my day. I love that.
All right. So little bomb number 2 is the Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon Revisited number 2 will be October 5th of 2024.
Reserve that date. We'll be there. Candy, mark us down. We'll be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she said she'd love to have all of us there. So I've even been accepted through your guys' presence.
That's awesome. Exciting.
That is very exciting.
Next year, I do not want to talk about aliens.
Are you sure?
Oh man. So Whitney was giving me such a hard time for my bad joke while we were there. And
I
don't think I should repeat it because we'll lose listeners. But I was driving home that night, and thanks, Candy, no aliens. Yes. I was driving home that night, and as I was going down Interstate 80, there was a farmer out plowing in the field.
Oh wow!
Or harvesting out in the field.
Yeah.
And I had the big combine on, all the lights on. So as I'm driving down the highway, I pull out my phone and go click, and text it to Whitney. And I go, look, a UFO.
Perfect timing. Perfect.
Yeah, and Whitney, being Whitney, no laugh, no nothing, responded, how dare you send me pictures while driving?
Oh, that's what she's worried about.
That's what she gets to.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yep. That's awesome.
Mama Whitney chewed me out. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, that cracks me up.
Oh,
that's great. All right, well, ladies, we've already been on here for pretty much an hour already.
Oh, so, I feel like it flew by. It totally flew by.
Yes, it did. Crazy. It really did. So, recap, ladies and gentlemen that are listening, make sure you go and find the Haunted Happy Hour podcast everywhere you find a podcast. Make sure you visit their websites. They will be in the show notes. Make sure you buy their coffee. Make sure you buy their t-shirts.
Yes.
And I've been showing off my stickers of your guys's to everybody too. And then make sure you're in Rock Island for New Year's Eve so you can attend the New Year's Eve event with the Haunted Happy Hour podcast.
Yes.
As well as mark your calendars for October 5th of next year so you can come and hang out with us the entire frickin' day at Paracon.
Woohoo!
Number 2.
That's exciting. Super
I think
cool.
I got it all, didn't I?
You did.
So.
You hit on everything.
Yay!
You're on it.
Check.
Whitney would be proud.
Check. I hope so. I hope so. Whitney,
That's
you know
awesome.
we love you. We miss you.
We love you, Whitney. Shout out, Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney hearts. Woo!
You missed out because you were so sick and coughing at home.
I'm coughing too, but I'm still here.
That's right. Well, thanks again, ladies, for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Woo! Yay! Haunted Happy Hour.
Yes, the sticker. I have that in with my gear.
Yeah.
All right,
Yay.
and thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please remember to take a second, rate us 5 stars, or leave us a review. It helps us to get the word out about the show, and we want to hear your feedback to help make the show better. If you're an Android listener, you can follow us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, or simply say, Alexa, play the Para-Unity podcast. And she will, because she likes you. She's your friend. So that way you never miss an episode. Remember, if you like the show, tell a friend. If you want to be a guest on the show or you just want more Para-Unity, join us on our Facebook or Instagram. You can also help support the show, and this is a big one, guys. Go to our website, buy us a cup of coffee. Helps us cover the cost. That way we can continue to bring Para-Unity to your ears. My name is Brandon, and you've been listening to the best place to bring our paranormal teams a little closer together, the Para-Unity podcast. Good night, everyone.